How's it going, guys? I'm your host Kariban Gaming. Welcome back to the Seasonal Events Items Guides Part 2, and for this video we are going to be going through the seasonal items that you may want to get from the month of May all the way until the month of December. Now, if you haven't already, please do go ahead and check out Part 1 for the months of January all the way up till April. Okay, the information inside of this video is accurate at the time of this recording, which is on 1st of June 2021. So the time you may be seeing this video, some of the information may or may not be outdated, so take it with a pinch of salt if you're watching this video in the very far future. Okay, that being said, the items that I mentioned here, most of them are good to get. They may or may not be best in slot depending on what type of player you are, depending on the type of build that you're using, depending on whether you're a low spender, a free-to-play player, or a whale inside of the game. Be sure to go ahead and check out the forums, the wiki, as well as the discords and my weekly release videos for the newest items that are being released inside the game to see if you really want to get them or not. So without further ado, let us jump right into the video. So to kick things off for May, we have the May the 4th celebrations, aka Star Wars Day. Inside of the limited time shop, you'll be able to find the Star Saber, Star Spear, as well as the Mystic Star Saber weapons. They compress both energy and darkness element, and other than that, they don't really have anything special going for them. So if you need a good compression weapon, then you can go ahead and pick those. For the Void, during May the 4th, the Star Slayer monster returns, okay? And the Star Slayer monster, if you guys are having trouble beating him, you guys can go ahead and check out my videos on how I beat Star Slayer using a variety of different builds. Once you defeat him, you will unlock a shop that allows you to buy two different armors. One is the Star Slayer armor, which is the fully offensive variant, and the other one is the Star Savior armor, which is the fully defensive variant. I would advise getting the fully offensive variant if you don't have a better energy armor. What's good about the armor is that it comes with a skill that chokes the monster, and the choking skill obviously comes with a damage penalty, but it can make the monster deal about 60 to 70% of their regular damage. Next up, we have a rare item hunt pet called the Mookie Twilly pet, and it is currently the strongest option for healing as it spends 100% of its damage as well as its Mastercraft for the healing effect. Its Mastercraft makes it heal 25% more, 20% of the time. It's available as a rare item hunt around May the 4th, and you can find it by going to Travel Map, Jagged Peaks, kill the first 4 monsters, be at the cutscene in the nest, click a hidden spot on the screen in the middle / lower right of the screen. Okay, I will put a picture of it up here so you guys know where to get it. Keep in mind that this is a token item, so it may not be for everyone unless you are a spender inside of the game. For the month of May, we also have the Mother's Day celebrations, and for the Mother's Day celebrations, you can go ahead and consider getting the Frosty Godmother and the Umbro Godmother pets inside of the limited time shop when they come around. Frosty Godmother is an Ice Element pet, and Umbro Godmother is a Darkness Element pet. They are basically clones of the Fairy Godmother pet, but in Ice and Darkness elements respectively. They have a choice between attacking the enemy for its respective element, healing your HP or healing your MP, making it one of the most versatile pets in the game. So I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and pick them up whenever you can. For this year, which is 2021's Mother's Day release, we also got two very good items for Beastmasters. First up is the Ancient Mother Staff. It is a Mastercraft Earth weapon, uses Charisma for stat bonuses. Deals minus 20% damage, and after your pet or guest's turn, the monster gains a Earth Elemental Vulnerability status effect. The shield, which is called the Mother's Growth Shield, is basically an Earth version of Pies. What it does is that it has a built-in charisma drive. You can click on the shield to spend a bit of SP per turn to give yourself a 50 charisma boost. All in all, two really great items for Beastmasters. So if you're a Beastmaster build, I'll highly recommend picking these two items up when they return in the future. And last but not least, we also have the El Muchacho 20,000 Z token package item. Okay, it is a fire weapon that can toggle between range and magic mode. It has a whopping 5 different modes that can be toggled through. Normal mode is a standard attack with a plus 5% damage as Mastercraft, and all of the other modes pay some damage for each of their special effects. You have a armor piercing mode that attempts to inflict defense loss, a flamethrower mode that attempts to burn the monster, a mortar mode that attempts to inflict daze, and last but not least, a shield mode that attempts to lower the monster's BTH. Shield mode pays less damage than the others. So it is a very versatile weapon that can deal a large variety of effects. This being said, it is a premium item only being available inside of a 20,000 Z token package. So if you're a whale, then I'll consider picking this up. And for the month of June, we have the Father's Day event. So for the Father's Day event, you can find the Father Time as well as the Mystic Father Time shield inside of the limited time shop. They are of the ice and the energy element respectively. And the Mastercraft effect of the shield is that it has a skill that is effectively the same as a Purple Rain spell, except you have to wait until your next turn and the shield must be equipped when your turn ends in order to use the effect. Currently, there's actually no real reason to use the shield skill over the Purple Rain spell, but when the spell eventually gets balanced or nerfed in the future, then I could see when this Father Time shield may actually come in handy. So I'll definitely consider picking it up first for when the nerf/balance to Purple Rain eventually comes around. There is also a Frosty Godfather pet that you can find inside of the limited time shop. It is a standard paralyzed pet of the ice element, and you can toggle between your pure damage mode and a mode that attempts to inflict a paralyze on the monster. June is also the time whereby the summer Z token donation contest starts, so I'll definitely try and log in every day and have at least one battle save in order to have a chance of winning up to 5,000 Z tokens from random donors. On top of that, I also recommend everyone to donate the minimum amount in order to get the smallest prize possible for the donation contest. Usually these can range anywhere between 500 to 2,000 tokens, which honestly isn't a lot, okay? And in the recent years, the prizes have gotten a lot better in my opinion, so I'll definitely go ahead and make that small little investment in order to get a good item. Of course, you won't know what the item is until it comes out, but in recent years, like I've said, I think the items have improved greatly, and I definitely recommend everyone to go ahead and spend that tiny amount of Z tokens in order to get the prize. For July, we have the 4th of July celebrations, which is Independence Day for the Americans. And for the 4th of July items, there is an item called the Patriot Katana. It's sort of like a rare item hunt whereby you have to go and battle random monsters until you find this monster called Uncle Krenos. Once you beat him, you'll be able to unlock a shop that allows you to buy the Patriot Katana. Keep in mind that the Patriot Katana is a Z token item, so if you're not a spender, then you can probably pass this up. It is a melee fire weapon that scales in level with you. The current highest level version is level 130 and it deals 1.5 times lucky strike damage. So it is a really good weapon for warriors if you're willing to spend the Z tokens. There is also the Fireworks Buckler Shield, which you can find inside of the limited time shop during 4th of July. It is a light and fire compression shield. There's no other special effects to it, but if you need a compression shield for your build, then this might be something that you may want to consider picking up. This is actually the month whereby there's no good seasonal items to pick up, so if you're looking to slack for a month, then yeah, August is probably the time to do it. For September, we have Talk Like a Pirate Day, and the first item that you want to consider getting is the Sunken Ship Wheel. Okay, you can get this from the Talk Like a Pirate Day event Treasure Hunt Quest. Okay, so this is quite an interesting shield. It decreases both your water and darkness resistance by 21%, and on top of that also reduces incoming damage by 7.143%. But if you block an enemy attack, then you take 50 damage. So in a sense, this is quite a weird shield. Okay, I wouldn't use this shield if you're running like a defensive build that stacks MRM, because you obviously do not want to be blocking attacks with this shield. Next up is a contract guest spell, which you can get from the limited time shop around Talk Like a Pirate Day, and it is currently the strongest option for water damage. So it is called Pyre Red. It has an SP upkeep cost and consumes gold like other contract guesses. It has two attacks, one that deals 115% damage and another one that deals 62.5% damage while attempting to inflict a water burn on the foe. Keep in mind this is a token only item, so if you're not a spender, then you can probably pass this up. October is the month of Mogloween, which is AQ's version of Halloween, and you can get the Pt.2 and the Trilda guess. Both are SP guesses, okay, and they are the energy and light elements respectively that can toggle between either a pure damage attack or an attack that heals the player. You can get these from the Mogloween limited time shop. Next up are items that you actually have to go on quests before you can actually unlock the shops to buy them. And first up, we have the 2006 Mogloween event, which is the Jack Pumpkin Face event. From there, you can get the Ghost costume, which is, in my opinion, one of the best armors for a fully defensive build. Now, this is slightly different from your traditional fully defensive armor in the sense that, yes, you still deal 0.8 times damage, but you are taking 1.25 times damage. To compensate, you are gaining a whopping 21 extra MRM for this armor. So I'll definitely pick this up if you are running a defensive build. Next up, from the same quest, you can also get the Pumpkin Shield. Okay, it decreases your fire by 21% and water by 20%. Okay, so this is basically just your standard compression shield, but it does resist against two elements at the same time. So if you're facing a monster that hits with both fire and water, then you can consider picking this shield up. Next up, in the 2007 Mogloween event called the Witch Hunt, you can pick up the Drag-O-Lantern pet. Okay, so it is a standard pure damage pet that element seeks between both fire and earth. Other than that, it's not really a remarkable pet, but if you're looking for a compression pet for both fire and earth, then you can consider picking this up. In the 2016 Mogloween event called the Grand Pumpkin, you can pick up the Pumpkin Reaver, which is a water weapon, okay, and it has a -3 BTH lean and no special, but every attack has a 50% chance of gaining extra 8.5 times BTH. So if you're a ranger, then you can consider picking this up, but for damage wise, it is not that great in terms of damage. For the 2018 Mogloween event Candy Cavens, you can pick up the Sugar Gobbler, which is an SP Earth Gas. Okay, and this is a really strong Earth Gas. One of the best Earth Gases in my opinion. In fact, it is the best Earth Gas if you're not considering token gases like the Doomquake minions. But that being said, in order to unlock the full potential of this gas, you will need to have a Mogloween painting in order to use this gas year round. Because if you want to boost up the gas, you will need to spend candy on it, and you can only get candy during the Mogloween event. So if you do not have or do not want to spend tokens buying the Mogloween Portal painting, then this gas may not be for you. So what this gas does is that it has 2 damage. You can toggle between 2 modes. The first mode is one that deals extra 5% damage. You can feed it candy to deal an extra 100% damage on top of that, and the second mode is actually a mode that has a rather high chance of petrifying the opponent. If you feed it candy, the chance goes up even higher, so I would definitely recommend picking this up if you're a spender and are able to spend tokens to buy the Mogloween Portal painting. For the 2019 Mogloween event Pumpkin Spice, you can pick up the Knife to Meet You spell, which is an earth spell that takes a -32.5% damage penalty, but it is a quick cast spell, meaning you do not need to spend a turn casting it. This spell is great for all damage mages. Okay, if you just want to get in as much damage as possible before your opponent's turn, then I'll definitely recommend you to go ahead and pick up this spell. There is also the Gordon Ramsheet gas. Okay, so this gas is a fire SP gas and has a toggle between a normal attack and an attack that sacrifices 25% of its damage in order to attempt to paralyze the foe for 1 turn. For the month of November, we have the Harvest Fest event, and this is basically AQ's version of Thanksgiving. So for the 2014 Harvest Fest event, Burp War, you can get the Drop the Mope spell. Okay, so this is, in my opinion, the best damage spell for Beastmasters. It drains your entire SP bar in order to deal additional damage, okay, and it can deal even more damage than War Master's Burst or Destruction Burst. If you do not have any SP, however, it will still deal the equivalent of a standard magic attack, which is 75% melee in terms of damage. So the more SP you have, the greater the amount of damage this spell will deal. For the 2020 Harvest Fest event, Waning of Pestilence, there are 2 really good weapons for rangers. The first of which is the Fireheart Vanguard weapon. Okay, this is the strongest fire spear in terms of damage, paying 15% melee in HP. That is 52 HP at level 150 to deal an extra 20% damage. The second of which is the Fireheart Warbow weapon. So this is a 100 proc fire range weapon. It is a bow with no true special that inflicts a powerful burn at a cost of 20% weapon damage and making the player take 17.9% more damage. It has 2 attacks, one with 2 hits and the other with 6 hits, and no true special, so it deals extra 1.1 times damage. And for the final month of the year, we have the highly anticipated Frostvale event, which is AQ's version of Christmas. So for Frostvale, you definitely want to start off by going to the Guardian Tower and picking up your Guardian gift boxes if you are a Guardian. Okay, so the Guardian gift boxes usually open up around January the next year, and more often than not, there are usually 1 to 2 best in slot items inside all of the items here. So I definitely recommend everyone to go ahead and pick everything up and make sure to double check that you have every single thing picked up, because once you miss it for that particular year, it goes rare forever, permanently, guys. So you may never see an item with the same effect ever again. So definitely double check and make sure that you are getting all of the Guardian gift boxes. This is also when the winter donation contest usually starts, and the winter donation contest, there are usually two different contests. One is for gold and the other one is for Z tokens. So same with the summer donation contest, I'll recommend you guys to go ahead and donate the minimum amount in order to at least win the lowest level tier of prizes. Of course, you also want to be playing, which is saving at least one battle every single day in order to stand a chance to not only win yourself some Z tokens but also gold as well if you're lazy to farm. Inside of the limited time shop, you'll find the Rain Dragon Rider, which is one of the best ice fully defensive armors inside of the game. It comes with a powerful one-hit fire element skill that can burn the monster. For the Decorate the Battle on 3 event, you will also want to get the Thunder Splitter, Thunder Lord Spear, or Thunder Lord Staff weapons, depending on whether you are a warrior, a ranger, or a mage build. Okay, so these weapons are an energy weapon, and you can toggle between two modes. Okay, one mode pays some HP to inflict a energy burn on the monster, while the second mode has a damage penalty in exchange for never missing your hits. So I'll definitely go ahead and pick up these weapons, as they are some of the best energy weapons inside of the game. And last but not least, we have some miscellaneous seasonal events to cover, okay, and these can occur at any time during the year. The first of which is during a solar or lunar eclipse. So every time there is such an event, the eclipse and or the lunar eclipse shield will be available in the limited time shop, usually for up to 24 hours after the solar/lunar eclipse event, okay, and there is no difference to them other than their names and appearances. They have a built-in skill which can blind the monster. This is good for those who are playing either a defensive build or an effects build. Next up, we have these Zfinity Gauntlet items. So all of these miscellaneous items are Z tokens only, so it's more for heavy spenders. But that being said, these are some very good items, so I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and pick it up. They usually return when there is a new Marvel movie, though that has not really been confirmed, and with COVID and all, sadly, we are not really getting any new movies anytime soon. But when they return, I would definitely recommend you guys to pick up at least one of them. Okay, so I'm going to go through them one by one. There are 5 of them, and all 5 of them, in my opinion, they are good for different builds and different play styles. Okay, so the first of which is the Power Gauntlet. So it resists energy and boosts melee blocking. On top of that, it comes with 2 skills. One skill can heal the player for 10% of their maximum HP, and the other skill can inflict a universal elemental vulnerability on the foe. This, in my opinion, is good for any build because of the elemental vulnerability inflicting skill. And on top of that, if you are playing a fully offensive build, this is almost a must-have. Next up, we have the Time Gauntlet. This gauntlet resists ice and boosts range blocking, so it comes with 2 skills also. One is a chance to inflict 1 turn of paralyze on the foe. Now, this is great and much better than other paralyzed items because this has no save whatsoever, but it can still get blocked by monster immunities. The second skill attempts to inflict blind and universal defense loss on the foe. So this gauntlet is really good for its first skill to paralyze the monster without any save whatsoever, and it's basically good for almost all builds as well, in my opinion, because of the ability to paralyze the monster. The Space Gauntlet resists earth and boosts range blocking. It also comes with 2 skills. The first skill gives you a massive 60 MRM for 1 turn, and the second skill gives you a 50% damage resistance universal elemental shield for 1 turn, both of which are really good for defensive builds, and I highly recommend you to go ahead and pick up this gauntlet if you are running a defensive build. The Mind Gauntlet resists water and boosts magic blocking. The first skill heals your MP once per battle, and the second skill, you can click on it similar to your Discount Moglowing Candy Bag, your Pixel Eater, your Essence Orb, in order to trade your HP for MP. The last gauntlet is the Soul Gauntlet. It resists light and boosts melee blocking. The first skill is once per battle and is completely free, heals 90% melee in SP for the player, and the other skill is basically the same as Mind Gauntlet skill, but instead of healing MP, you are trading your HP in order to heal SP instead. The cost for the second skill of the Mind and Soul Gauntlet does increase the more times you click it per battle, but in a lot of situations, they are actually better than your Essence Orb, than your Pixel Eater, than your Moglowin Candy Bag if you're not clicking it too many times per battle. So if you're only clicking it 1, 2, maybe even 3 times, then they are actually more efficient compared to those other resource trading items. So that is it, guys, the end of the seasonal events items guide. Let me know if you guys found the guide useful, and if I missed out anything or if there's anything else that you'd like to add on to the guide, please do feel free to comment down below. I'll be sure to read out through all of your comments. And once again, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Kareem, okay, for giving me the idea to make this guide, and of course the inspiration as well. And also I'd like to shout out those writers on the AQ wiki. Okay, I took most of my info from there, as well as the AQ subreddit and the unofficial AQ Discord Gox Tavern. Okay, so I hope you guys have found our guide useful. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host Korban Gaming. Peace out.